I got to go to this thing on or there's this thing Saturday, right? There's a party with our friends that we're all going to, a birthday party.
Bounce house. Can't wait. I fucking love being the adult that bounces.
We finna be late to that because there is a graduation party out in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Fun.
That we were invited to, but I have sworn off my wife's family until at least Thanksgiving. So I will not be going to it.
Okay.
I will be sleeping in and being picked up and then taken to the other thing.
I love it.
Yeah. I swore them off for a while, man.
You don't have to put up with that. I mean, at all. That's just unreasonable.
She hates Muslims.
Yep.
That was just where it was.
You should cut them off forever. But you don't have to. I understand. It's a fucking weird world we live in. You're related to them. It's a challenge, and I for sure think it's okay to take fucking breaks.
Yeah.
You got a whole life ahead of you.
I went every time there for a minute, but after this last time, it was just like, I don't think I'm gonna go anymore.
Yeah, not worth it. Yeah.
I mean, what does it even matter? Like, I'm not a draw at that house. You know what I mean? That's like, they don't care about me. They don't.
No.
It's not even like, they're not like, when they invite my family over, they're inviting Katie and Gwen over.
You know,
they invite me.
That's true. And I've actually, in previous relationships in my life, I had a problem because my partner hung out with her family all the fucking time. And they always wanted to include me, but they were into telling the same old family story over and over again, and drinking a case of Busch Light or whatever, and doing it on the deck and listening to bad music.
I just know what you were into.
Yeah,
I
and
was the same thing.
And I was not someone to be there. I had a pretty negative attitude. Like, when they asked me about stuff and I expounded on it, it was like so fucking miserable. Like, not miserable, but just against. It was what I am now. It was against everything that they were.
Did they want you around though?
They constantly. I got shamed into it, and I felt like such a wet blanket because I would just bring up concepts of like authority or like,
do you ever want to be
putting up with things, or class or money, or I would just bring things up about that, and it was like a bummer for people.
Do you ever want to be like, you don't want me here? You don't.
I know.
I'm not fun. You don't actually want me here. Like, that's how I always want to say with the wife. She's always like, you don't have to come, but like, I do feel like I have to. She's not playing games, right? I really don't have to be there, okay? Like, I'm not made to visit anybody, right, in my life. It's totally okay. But I also feel like part of being married is that
compromise.
If your wife has to go see her family, it's just, you should be there because, like, you should be there because you're a unit in a way, and like, part of, is maybe part of the reason you get married is like you're tied into this new family, you're tied into this like new unit. So like,
well, I mean,
I always felt like I should go, but my wife like doesn't care if I don't go. So I was just like, nothing until November. I was like, I'm not going. I don't want to go over there until November. And I'll go there for Thanksgiving and Christmas, and then I'll reevaluate after Christmas. But like, because I know I should go for Thanksgiving, and I know I should go for Christmas. But they're like trying to, first of all, they try to get her out there a couple times a month. And we're on tour 10 days a month a lot of times. So they can go when I'm on the road, and there's no explanation needed for where's Brian. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to be gone most of August. We're going to probably be gone for like 17 days in August. And like, so go there then. Go there when me and Brett aren't around, and then they don't even have to know. But I don't know. I feel guilty. I still feel so guilty when I don't go, because I feel like
you're being an asshole,
bad husband,
bad partner.
Because we'll get it. I'm sorry. We'll get it started. I don't want this to be on like the actual show, but I feel like because I'm married, I joined this family. I knew this family before I got married, and like, I just feel like I should be there. I feel like I should be a part of it. I don't want to be like the dad that stays home when everybody goes to church.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah.
I think that's what I don't want to be. But I also don't want to go there. I don't want to fucking be there. It doesn't feel good to me. feels bad.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you do stuff where you're screaming on the inside, but it's temporary.
Yeah, you just don't. I mean, if that's like I always tell people is like, don't separate yourself from your family. That's like the worst thing you can do. And that's what old white dudes are really good at, separating themselves from their family. And it's like something, and I think it's even something innate in us where we have to fucking force ourselves not to separate ourselves from our family.
Really like, oh, fuck it, I'll be fine on my own.
Yeah, we do. I do it. I mean, my wife and kid, you know, hey, well, let's go see Aladdin. I ain't fucking seeing Aladdin. Aladdin's for children.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I do that with a lot of stuff. I'm just like, that's for children. That's like a woman thing. I know I shouldn't say that on here, but I have in the past been like, oh, come on. Because
Yes,
I said this. I
I
actually said
understand.
it to my wife. A woman. I'm reading this book about con artists, and my wife is just like, I am like so not interested in that. And I was like, it seems like a guy thing. But the person that wrote the book I'm reading is a fucking woman. So I'm wrong. I'm just gendering something that it's not true.
Right.
At all. I'm like, but like, I just feel like dudes are just fascinated with carnies and grifters and con artists.
Yeah, man, most of your friendships are dudes. Well, you talk to a lot of dudes a lot.
Not really. I mean, I think I talk to women more than I talk to guys.
I mean, your group chats you're in all day long.
Okay, well, come on. How dare you bring up my group chats that are full of dudes?
Right.
I mean, the only two the other one I talk to is half women,
Okay.
half dude buddies. But yeah, that book is good. I'd love to talk about it on the air because it like they do so good with like explaining. Like, this is a crazy thing. Let me just explain this before we go on air because you guys got to hear this. So, in the early part of America, right? Whenever they had to get a public works project done, like a railroad or fucking...
Turn the camera on.
Yeah, you can turn the cameras on.
Turn the camera on. Nope, just turn it on. We'll do. Can you play the title after we start?
Okay. So like I'm going like this. I'm reading this book and they're like, if they need a public works project done, they would just do a lottery. They're like, hey, let's do a lottery. A lot of the early public works that got done in America, lottery. They did them. But then like after a while, you know how Christians get, they start complaining about gambling. Right? And they're like, oh, this gambling, it's so bad, you know? And this author, she puts it so well. She's like, they said gambling is bad because anybody can buy in to gamble and become rich or make money without doing anything. So what would happen was they would have two different sorts of places in cities where like one place, it was rich people and they were just doing land speculation and stuff like that, which is basically gambling. You know, you're like buying a piece of land and then hoping that something on that land has money. And that's how we like built the United States, was off of the stock market. Like the stock market is all like she articulates how the stock market is all gambling, and that the reason gambling was turned illegal was because gambling was something that poor people did, and the stock market was something that had a high cost of entry, so only people with money could be involved in it. So that was their like way to gamble without actually being gamblers. And I just like the way she talks about the creation of the stock market and how like when America first started, they were like, you know, this shit's immoral. Like betting, it's basically betting on a business or betting on a piece of land. Like that's immoral and you shouldn't do it. And we don't do that here. And then it took decades before they were able to like create a stock exchange. And then once they did, it was like, now it's just such a normal part of life.
Yeah, once
like
people got money,
runs fucking everything, you know?
Yeah,
but
sounds
it's
interesting. What's the name of the book?
The Mark Inside.
I'll put it on my list.
Yeah. That's his 35th book he's going to read. Nah, it's good. It's, you know, it's every other chapter is about like a sort of history lesson. And then the chapters that start like a history lesson about grifting and cons and like the economy and shit like that. And then the other chapters are about this guy who fucking got conned in the 1800s. He got conned, I believe, for fucking $90,000. He got took for $90,000.
And old people, and old time money,
And old time money. He fucking
1800 money.
yeah. He got took for $45,000, and then he sold a piece of land for another $45,000. So he was hot under the collar about it. And a
Sure.
lot of time back then, you would get conned, and you would be like, I ain't fucking telling anybody. I'm ashamed. I got conned. But this guy was just like, I'm going to hunt these motherfuckers down. So he went to the newspaper and told his story, and he traveled around the country and they would just let he was a rich guy, right? The police would write him a warrant so that he could go and fucking arrest people. And he was like this old rich cowboy, and he would just fucking show up. He fucking shows up at a restaurant at one point and starts waving a gun around and pointing it at a guy and just trying to arrest him. And it's just like, holy shit, man. Times was crazy back then. Like, they would just be like, oh, you're a rich guy. You can go ahead and just be a cop now. Like you're a rich guy with a vendetta. Go ahead and become a cop now.
Not a lot of checks and balances.
No. It's good, though. The mark inside. It's very good.
All right, let's get this rolling. You got that theme music going. Hey, Street Fighters, what's up? How you doing tonight? You ready for a street fight? Wednesday is here. I'm Brett. He's Brian. Sorry.
Long
I
pause.
stalled out there.
Brian you need to prime the pump. You
Yes.
didn't get it primed right, did you?
We got the show started early on the live stream. If you want to get the bonus content, I think it'll be on YouTube, the whole thing. But get here early. You can watch us on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We are doing the show in front of the live audience here in the chat. You can talk to us during the show. I try to check it, but I try not to, but I usually do. And thanks for all the input that you give us. We are the #1 anarcho comedy radio show on any station across the nation, coming out of Columbus, Ohio. We're on WCRS radio here. Every Sunday night, we take phone calls. You can call us. Look for the number. Look for the stream. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sundays. But this thing got started like 8 years ago with just Brian and I yelling at each other's faces for your entertainment. And if we never became the podcasters that we did, we would still be recording one show a week at least, just to get out of our system. And it's the Basement Show. We just did a Q&A for our vacation that's coming up soon. We are going to take a break from recording. You'll still get podcasts though, so make sure you are still subscribed on iTunes and whatever Android podcasting apps you use, right?
Right, yeah. I got, for those who've been wondering and asking about it, there is a Brace and Brian show in the can. So you Patreon people get to hear me and Brace talk for another hour.
Yeah.
It was a good time. People really like me and him talking. So
Yeah. We're going to do we're doing 2 shows a week during the break.
there will be 2 shows a week during the break. And I actually think there will be all 3 shows.
Yeah, and
during the break.
If you want more, there's a whole bunch of bonus episodes on Patreon, patreon.com/StreetFightRadio. You can also read the zine. You can also watch us, watch TV, and hook that shit up to your TV. Get an HDMI cable from your laptop, hook it up to your TV, watch that file. It's highly illegal. We can't really put it on YouTube or anywhere else, so it's just a Google Drive of us watching TV like Mystery Science Theater 3000 style, and it's a lot of fun. It's called Undercover Business Tyrants, and you're gonna love it. I guarantee it.
Yeah. So that was a cool thing.
We got. What's the consensus? Does it suck to just like say a whole bunch of shit at the beginning?
Nah, it doesn't matter.
All right.
I mean, people have been asking. I've been getting DMs about Brace and Brian.
I know.
That's why I was like,
I still have so many things to talk about.
Oh, well, we'll keep going. We got some shows lined up soon with lot of special guests. We're working with people for the rest of the summer.
Yes.
So if you saw my list of cities that are pretty much booked, there will be people on those shows that you probably aren't even expecting some of them. So
yeah, we did the show with the Trillbillies on Friday. We'll get to that later in the show, but we've got some planned live shows coming up that are going to feature some very cool mashups, some firsts in podcasting history. We're writing it down, folks, and it's all because of your support, really.
Hell yeah.
They'll give us what we need to do this. And also, we are taking pre-orders on a shirt. It says Guys and Gals and Non-Binary Pals. And it is very popular. So far, we've raised over $300 for the Mosaic Center here in Columbus, Ohio. 10% of the proceeds that come in for the shirt purchase will go to the Mosaic Center. It's they do HIV testing and screening. They do mental health. They do other health services for LGBTQ youth in Columbus, Ohio. Also, the artist is getting paid. The shirt is union made. Like, I went to I did all of the stuff to make sure this is a good purchase. But, you know, it's a $28 shirt, which is pretty pricey. I realized, like, for people making minimum wage, that's like 10% of your take-home pay for the week. So we have a discount option available for just $14. You can get the shirt, no shipping or anything, just $14 straight up. And then you can also pay for somebody else's shirt. Now, I've been promoting that online already a bunch, and we've had a huge response. A lot of people are picking up the other half. So please go in there, get that discount shirt. And at this point, if you can't afford a shirt and you really want one, and you know, you've been a Street Fighter for a while, just reach out on any of the stuff. Send me an email, brett@streetfightradio.com, and I will get you in there for free. I'll just use 2 people's prepay thing, but it's pretty cool. There's been a good response, and like I said, raising a lot of money and paying artists and union people. It's fucking awesome. Yeah. It's one of those things, like, I don't know, it's a capitalist thing to do. And, you know, this really wasn't a cash grab for Pride. Like, this was just like the next logical shirt. I was just like, what shirt would just make the most sense? And I've been trying to get the ball rolling on this since January, and finally got kicked into gear. And it rolled up to June, and I was like, oh man, this looks like, you said we look like used car salesmen.
Yeah, kind of, a little bit.
A little hacky. It's a bit hacky, but we are raising money for the right reasons, and hope you can get in on the cause. Go to store.streetfightradio.com to pre-order the shirt. We're doing it all month long. July 1st, the order goes in. They'll start shipping at the end of July. But thanks for everybody that does that and supports what we do.
Hell yeah. Thank you to everybody for all of that stuff.
We're going to be live in Columbus, Ohio. Yeah. Next Friday, right?
July 28th.
June 28th.
June 28th. Up in Columbus, Ohio at the Short North Stage. Come and see us. It'll be fun. You will love it.
It's going to be a great show. A lot of people coming in from faraway places. If you want to make a weekend out of it, I'm sure people could plan some sort of bunk situations or couches and shit. But other than that, like, Comfest is really fucking fun. Like, it is a cool thing that I have not seen in any other city that I've been to before, you know?
It's good times. I really highly recommend, if you can travel out here, I would come out and hang out, because it's going to be very fun. Me and Brad can be partying at Comfest on Saturday, first day of our non-recording vacation.
Yep, that's the beginning. That Sunday, I don't have to worry about recording.
Bunch of new shows. So, what's up, dude? How's it going? Let's do some podcasting.
Sure.
This is the first story I got. Let's just launch into stories, right? I think that's the way to go. I got this story 100 times, and which leads me to believe that Brett got this story 1,000 times, because he runs the Street Fight account.
Okay.
So this is what's his name? Glenn Matarazzo, the kid from Stranger Things. He's a Stranger Things boy. Okay.
Yes.
And he's got this prank show that he's got coming out. Like,
he's
Punk'd.
Yes. And
sort of thing.
How old is he now? 14, 15?
16 maybe?
What's
16,
his name?
17.
Frank
Glenn Matarazzo. Glenn Matarazzo. I mean, he looks so young. So here let's read the Deadline article for it. Netflix has ordered 8 episodes of Prank Encounters, a hidden camera prank show executive produced and hosted by Stranger Things star Gaten Matarazzo. His name is Gaten.
Got it. He's 16.
The show, which had been in the works for months, hails from Ben Silverman and Howard Owens' Propagate. It's set to launch later this year. We need to figure out who... You know, the real bad guys probably Ben Silverman and Howard Owens.
Yeah.
I mean, a 16-year-old didn't come up with this idea. And if he did... They should have been like, nah, dude, we can't fucking do this. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I think the real show is that two grown guys like us were like, what if a cute little teenager like fucked with people at their part-time jobs?
Yeah,
like, what if people that were struggling to get work?
So each episode of this terrifying and hilarious prank show takes two complete strangers who each think they're starting their first day at a new job. It's business as usual until their paths collide and these part-time jobs turn into full-time nightmares.
Oh, God.
Matarazzo executive produces with Silverman, Owens, and Kevin Healy for Propagate and Rob Hyde. Yeah, you know, that's the end of these stories. Go for it.
Can I fix this?
Yeah.
The problem is they're going to fuck with these people, right? And not do anything for them.
Well,
but what if they gave them like a year's pay?
Well, okay, yeah, that's fine.
What if they were like, here's like $50,000?
I think that's fine.
And that could be worked. How much money are they making off this thing?
Oh, I know. The budget is probably
just
there.
Peel it off to be like, all right, we kind of ruined you, but
here's $70,000.
Right, here's a year's worth of like money that will make things easy for you.
Yeah. But they would have to announce that with the announcement because people are pissed about this.
Yeah, like, no, this is bad. No, this is. I was sorry. I fixed it before. I mean, this is not what we're getting.
Yeah, no, we're getting just. I mean, so they're starting. Here's the fucking problem with it. It's like I'm like ambivalent on pranks. I don't do them because I suck at them. You know, I'm too mouthy. You know what I mean? I talk too much. I love to tell things, you know?
Honestly, I mean, I think Scare Tactics, one of the most incredible and inventive and creative and just like pushing the boundaries. It's just, that is the most fun thing in the world of having like aliens come out of nowhere and seeing what the fuck people do, right?
Right. But what I'm saying is that like with I'm not against pranks. There are a lot of people out there that are just like, pranks are stupid. They're bad. They're always mean or whatever.
Okay.
That is not the type of dude I am. But like these people are looking for a job, I would imagine. And they think that they've gotten a job.
Well, yeah. Once they start bringing you back in, you're like, well, shit. All I got to do is be charming and nice and get in there, and I got the job.
Well, once you're hired and you're starting at your first day at the job, you feel like you can be done with the job search. And they fucking bring these people in, and they're fucking pranking them. And then in the end, they find out they don't even have the goddamn job. Like, who the fuck, how did that get okay? How was their fucking, this is like when you hear a court story where it's like a kid brought a Tylenol to school and they suspended him for the rest of his life and threw him in jail. And it's like, how did the cops, how did the like teacher, then the principal, then the cops, then it went through a court system with lawyers, and then it ended that way. You know, nobody said this is fucking crazy, we got to stop it. Nobody said that about this.
Well, they had to put a minor, like we put a minor out there so no one will fucking attack him. Like no one will punch him. Like if a grown adult came out there, you would leap on him like a fucking animal.
Yeah.
I would rip their shirt off of them.
Oh, so this kid started a band with his brothers and sisters, and they're going on tour this summer, and I'm like, I would probably cancel that tour now because people really hate this kid.
Well, I mean,
they're mad as hell at this kid.
I gotta say,
bad judgment.
Here's what I gotta say: as somebody that's making do on a few thousand people that like my podcast, just pivot out of this fucking thing. Like, just seriously, abort, pull the ejector seat. Not a good idea. I think that some things are fun to think about. Like, you know, I'm enjoying it, thinking about how pissed people would be because it would just like blow my fucking mind. But it's cruel. I mean, you can't do that stuff for entertainment. Not at all.
Yeah.
But so I just think that it's like, hey, all you have to do in my mind is say, sorry, put your hands up. That's what I always do. Say, put your hands up and just be like, I didn't mean to. I was doing the wrong thing there. I'm just going to do something else.
Netflix has some like weird shit
I'm bringing Scare Tactics back. We're like, yeah. Stranger Things Scare Tactics crossover, dude.
I know. They could
imagine
totally
the capsule collection too at the pop-up shop.
Yeah. They could do all kinds of shit. Oh. They could have done a million different kind of pranks to to capitalize on him being the fucking Stranger Things guy.
What if they had like YouTube? What if they just put YouTube stars in Stranger Things situations?
Yeah.
Like, and they were like, this is kind of like the Stranger Things. Like, oh shit, and then they feel fucking scared.
Oh no, there's the Demogorgon.
Yeah.
It's coming to get me now.
And what are they, upside down world?
I'm in the upside down. I
Yeah.
think I'm in the upside down. I can't believe this.
Yeah.
Some fucking some influencer from YouTube.
Yeah.
You're made to look a fool.
Yeah, just pivot out of this. I mean,
How can you not like when you do a prank?
I mean, you're mean. You want to be mean. I mean,
Yes.
that's what it's about. It's like, what you got to do something where a person's just going to lose their cool, and you get to see them like turn into just like an animal. Like they just aren't fucking using their rational brain anymore.
And you
They're
want to
just
do it to a
pissed.
shithead, right? You want to like
You want to do it to anybody. Like you only prank and pick on people that it works. Like that's what you have to realize that at some point in life that like once you stop caring that people will stop bothering, right?
Yeah. Netflix is weird now though, because I saw a preview for another show called Flinch, where they're fucking doing all this wild stuff to you, and if you flinch, they get to hurt you.
Whoa.
And it looks sick. It looks like that fucking show from it looks like a fucking dystopian
Flinch?
like running games type show. Yeah, it's like they'll fucking like
Swing like a battle axe.
oh
at your
yeah,
face
yeah,
or
they'll
something?
swing like an axe at your face, and if you flinch, then you got to do some painful thing to like.
That sounds like some
repay
sort of like weird frat like ritual.
Which that sounds it fucking sounds like
like a
Sorry to
Illuminati.
Bother You has the game show where it's just guys getting punched in the balls. It's
Yes.
like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's crazy. But I just think that like with a prank show, so I'm so
But
tied
it is
up
kind
in
of, I mean, I don't know, it's ethical and stuff, but like you talk about, you want to like, what do people put up with for jobs? That's too is like you can't really explore what people are willing to put up with because they want a fucking job. Like we talk about on the show all the time, like I'm just like, all right, let's just go with it, man. Go with the flow, right? Like
Yeah.
Bruce Lee said, be like water. That's what I'm gonna do.
I mean, if
I'm just
this-
gonna go along with this thing. I really need money, and like you just can't believe your fucking eyes, like the work environments that you're getting a peek at. You know,
I mean, it does feel like something that maybe could be done elegantly
yeah, probably not.
if you pay
people would be pissed.
people
Yeah, if you paid
off.
them off, right?
Yeah, you
Right.
just
If
gotta
it was
pay
a game
people off.
show,
Yeah.
like, we were fucking with you.
But even if it's a game show, that's wrong because somebody has to lose.
Yeah.
I just think that like if it's something where it's like these people, but even then, I hate the idea of taking people who need a job and putting them on TV and like
it's happened in other places too.
yeah, Candid Camera would do shit like that back in the day
There
where
was,
they'd just be dicking around with people.
There was one of those reality shows overseas where you could only live based upon like free raffles from like magazines.
yeah. I don't. It's so fucking.
That was a pretty bonkers one. I can't remember that. I can't remember the name of it.
I
Someone
remember
in the
that.
chat
Yeah.
will know
It's in
like
Japan. I
Japan,
think.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that guy lived in a house for like 18 months solely on what he like won from sweepstakes
Yeah. So
until he could pay off the thing, and then they sent him back in. Yeah, I got to remember that. Also, another one of my favorite genre pushing reality shows is Solitary. Did you ever watch that one?
no, I don't. I
Really?
didn't. No.
Solitary was good. I mean, this is like some like 1960s textbook experimenting on people. They basically threw like a dozen people in solitary confinement in like cages, and then just had them like there was a button they could push to go home, and they just had them wait each other out, like, you know, used car, keep your hand on it style.
Yeah.
And it was pretty fucking like an unethical show.
Yeah.
I think like if I went back and watched it, I'm gonna have to see where I can find that shit. I'm gonna have to look for the torrent of that shit.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking through the comments. People aren't very happy. There are people
I
saying
don't-
that the snowflakes are mad. So
I mean, I don't know. This is a weird situation where it is like a 16-year-old, and I'm just not going to be a 35-year-old man that is like trying to say I'm going to kick his ass. Or
Right,
like
I
he
think
has
I'm
a
mad.
lesson to learn. I'm not going to paddle him. I think that at 16, I mean, Brian does way more spilling the beans about this, but I will definitely co-sign it, that at 16, you're a fucking open wound, and I don't know if this is going to go unheard. I don't know if he's going to feel too comfortable. We'll see.
Well, I think that's the thing, is that there's adults all around this thing. There's like, there should
That's
be
true.
like 5 fucking adults standing between him and this opportunity.
Yeah, well,
you know?
So here's the difference. I one time, somebody sent me something and they were like, what's the praxis of this on Instagram? And it was an Instagram guy that ordered Jimmy John's subs. And the Jimmy John's delivery driver showed up and he handed him $10,000 in cash. And he said, hey man, quit your job right now. You can have this. And the guy was like, fine, I'll fucking do it. And then the video cuts to him walking in and he says, hey everybody, I fucking quit. And he takes his shirt off and he swings it over his head and throws it over the counter and walks away. And I was just so confused by it, but it's like, that is a more natural progression than, like you said. I mean, these are a bunch of executives. These are a bunch of pencil pushers, people that make 6 figures a year and have really nice livings that are like plotting a way for this child to take the brunt out of this really fucking mean joke.
Yep. I agree. Yeah. I mean, I totally blame the adults around him, because I would have taken, I mean, if they would have offered me this when I was 16, I would have fucking totally done
that's
it.
what I'm saying. I mean, I'm totally on. Yeah, agree with that.
So
It would be funny as fuck. It's fun. I mean, I did so many awful things that I thought would be funny when I was that age.
I know. So I got this. And it showed up in a chat I was in, and we had to look at this.
I wanted to clarify. He did give that Jimmy John's guy $10,000. Like, he actually let him have the money and go.
Oh, he got 10 grand.
Yeah, it wasn't
Okay,
like a scam. He wasn't doing like a trick or anything. It was just some sort of, I don't know. I guess he did the money. He did consider it like advertising. You know.
Yeah.
He did the numbers, and it was worth the hits.
So I don't know where I got this, but it's from an account called Catatonic Youths on Twitter.
Good name.
And they posted this post that said, ran into this guy today. He doesn't live in the neighborhood and drives here. And he handed me this paper. And there's 3 pictures.
Okay.
The first picture is a guy wearing a sign that says, your neighbor fired my wife. And on the back of the sandwich board that he's wearing, it says, for doing her job.
Okay.
And then he was handing out these papers that said, last month, after almost 7 years of loyal service, your neighbor, the good doctor, along with his colleagues, fired my wife. So,
oh, wow. This is a personal vendetta.
This guy, his wife, let's read the letter. Not only was she loyal, devoted, always on time, and an incredible worker following office policy with professionalism, she was loved by the patients she served. After finishing her shift, she was called into the office without warning and fired. No explanation, no warning, no justification, just fired. They have since posted her job after realizing the mistake they've made. They tried to fill her position with non-medical, non-certified, low-paid help who would use a doctor with help that wasn't competent. Furthermore, they are now denying my wife of unemployment compensation, not only adding to my wife's embarrassment, but due to the slander, she's unable to be hired by other employers. How could your neighbor do such a thing? I'm not sure, but I wanted you to know the kind of person your neighbor really is. My wife didn't deserve for this kind of treatment. She's an incredible person, and your neighbor should be ashamed of himself.
I love it.
He drove to the neighborhood.
This guy is devoted.
I want to love my wife. That's the kind of husband I want to be.
Yeah. I dream of loving my wife that hard. I don't think I can live up to those standards, to be honest.
You couldn't drive to somebody's neighborhood and hold a sign all day.
I mean, what am I doing with my time? I'm watching Criterion Collection movies. Is that more important than the honor of my wife?
Than defending.
She got totally disrespected at her last job, and I know where those people live.
Yeah. You could just go to their neighborhood and make the sign and hold it up, and you would be all fucking set, dude.
Can I tell you?
I think that this, to me, though, this really is a kind of good road to take if you have the time and ability to do something like this.
Well, this is tangentially related to something that I want to do, because there was an announcement today that the Columbus Crew are going to get, instead of the planned 115 million of public funding, they're going to get 140 million
that's
of public
great.
funding
That's great.
for a new stadium. And I don't expect anybody to have a problem with it. I haven't seen very many negative comments, and I don't think the city is going to have much of a dust up. But I, more than anything in the world, want to make signs and put them everywhere. I want to scream and yell with, like, I want to take 100 refrigerator boxes and make a fucking sign that says "Go Screw" on it. It has like a funny fucking thing where like we're kicking a Columbus Crew member in the ass out of the fucking city.
Well,
I want to go, like, I just want to go guerrilla, like, really on the ground, DIY, you know. He's just doing a flash mob on the motherfucker. Like, all right, then, fuck it. You want to treat my wife like that? I'm just going to hang out in this area and let people know what you're up to.
yeah. It's just like, you, who knows if it's changing anybody's mind about the neighbor, but it is like, oh, why you gotta treat people like shit? Now their husbands are like canvassing my neighborhood, you know?
Yeah. I mean, what did you do to that guy?
Yeah, come on, man. What's wrong?
You denied her unemployment? Why would you do that?
Why do they do that? Do they have to pay that?
I believe they pay half of it, but I thought that was, you know, I don't know. It's all hearsay, man. It's just like smoke hut shit that I've heard about it. So I can't
Makes
even
me so mad
talk about it.
They can even deny unemployment.
I didn't think it was up to them unless it was they could prove that you were some sort of thing. You broke some rule. You were, you know, you did something that wasn't worthy of it. Right?
I always found that they try to make you quit. Like, it's always the goal to make you quit the job, and then they can.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. It was like there's always some sort of legality to it.
They could do some kind of wranglings to make it so you quit when you left the job,
right?
Or they fired you for performance,
right?
You know,
right, and then you're not eligible.
Yeah, because I know that I've heard if you get fired for performance, which is like, oh, there's bullshit,
a lot of ways
man.
They can justify firing you.
Yeah, you can fire anybody for fucking performance, man. But yeah, I like this guy's tactic, and I do think that like there's something to be learned there. If you get fired and you're pissed and you know where the person lives, go stand in their neighborhood with a big sign. Nobody can do anything about that.
Right. I mean, you're right. I mean, I think
the right to protest.
The spirit of the show, honestly, from the first time we ever cracked the mics, is that you should conduct yourself in a way that other people will not organize themselves to stop you in what you're fucking doing.
Exactly.
Because what if you do the type of things that people will organize to stop you, like, they're going to stop you. Like, they should be allowed to stop you. There's too many protections we have from people that need to be stopped.
Can you get into the mind of the doctor?
What
like,
doctor?
I want to try to get into the mind of the doctor that is being protested against. The one that fired the guy's wife. Like, I can't get into his mind. I'm in this new thing lately.
I mean, you don't give a fuck. I mean, when you got employees, it's just like you can't give a fuck too much because they're just going to be in and out. I mean, there's just no way. They are just an expense.
That's the way you look at. That's the way if you're a person that runs a business, you look at them.
There's a meme floating around of like, these are my work friends. We're the tightest in the world until one of us moves or gets fired, locations or gets fired.
Yeah.
Like, there's people that you're up their ass for 4 years. Like 4 years, you spend every single Friday night at their fucking house. You've done really embarrassing stuff. You've committed felonies in front of them.
Probably kissed them before.
Yeah. Yep. Gotten real weird. Yep. Got experimental and shit. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it's like, I got my nursing license. I'm going to start my nursing job now. And it's like, oh, okay, we'll see you Friday. And it's like, oh, I can't make it on Friday. And then it's like, oh, I'll never see you again then? Because that's what happens? Like, now all of a sudden you're gone forever.
I have watched that happen in my life.
You missed one Saturday night at Brewster's, and now you're never back. Like, I just don't know what happened to you, and you go by a different name. You used to be, we knew you as Nikki, but you call yourself Nicole on Facebook now to everybody.
You know, what's funny about that is that, like, you have me now thinking about, like, we have like a big group of friends that is sort of like I don't like a family in a way. We spend a lot of time together. We do things together. It's just a big group of friends. And for a period of time, a couple of our friends were working at a bar, right? At like a popular bar in Columbus. And there were all of these other friends that were there every single week hanging out. They were always there. And then both of those friends quit the job at the bar. And those people, I have not seen those people since they quit the job at the bar. Yeah. I wonder if they keep up with them, but I doubt it.
No, I mean,
I don't talk to anybody.
It just falls apart.
I had a weird period of my life. I worked at a place called Caltech Communications for a year and 9 months. I always remember because I wanted it to be 2 years, but it was a year and 9 months. I'm working there.
You wanted it to be 2?
I did. I wanted
you dreamed
to
of
have
having 2 years.
No, I just wanted a job that I had for like a significant period of time. I had worked at other places for a year, but like most of my jobs were like 3 months, fucking 2 months, 2 weeks, 6 months, 8 months. You know, like I was just never getting any numbers.
Yeah.
In these places because I'm a loser and a fuck up. And I just quit things, and they fired me.
Yeah.
You know, I told this story about the job where they wanted me to do calisthenics, and I quit after 7 days. And then I just did all these jobs.
Yeah.
I wanted 2 years under my belt. I wanted to feel like I had a job for 2 years. I still am and I know this is weird coming from me on this show. A big point of pride with me is that I was a cable guy at the same company for 7 years. I'm proud of that because I did the same job at the same company for 7 years. And I moved up in the company and I got raises and I did all the right stuff. I was always very proud of that. I still am. I don't know why. I shouldn't be proud of that. I shouldn't even care at this point.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's weird. I do wonder, the manager that's getting protested right now, they do have, there seems to be a lot of situations where they just flex their authority for no reason.
Yes.
And I do want to know if like that comes up. Like when he fired this lady's wife, it was just like, I mean, she didn't meet this protocol, or someone's leaning on me to do this, or who knows what the situation. I don't like her. Whatever.
Business is down. She's annoying.
Yeah, like whatever. And then you just get rid of her, and then this guy's like, "What the fuck?" Like someone challenges you on it, and you're just like, like you should explain. Maybe you should go. You owe this guy a conversation.
Yes.
Yeah,
they don't think they do. They never think they owe you that. They do owe you the conversation.
This is like ultimate white dude though, because someone bothered me in my DMs, was fighting with me out of nowhere and wanted to get in like a huge conversation. So how much time do they owe you, right?
But they do though. You're different, right? Like. You weren't working for this person that's mad at you in your DMs or whatever.
Right.
He's
That's
not your
true.
boss.
That's
this
true.
isn't some person. Like,
yeah, if somebody was protesting me, I would just go out there and be like, "What the fuck you protesting me for?"
Right, and I've said this on the show a bunch of times. Like, your job pays your paycheck. Your paycheck is the money, all the money that you have. We're not getting money